Do not fire an LGBT person from their job or refuse to hire them. It's as if now your sex drive determines your work ethic, and it is completely unfair to the person, as they have done nothing wrong, to get fired from their job or not to be hired. They could be the best worker in the entire company, but they get fired. But the straight worker who maybe isn't as good as a worker as them gets to keep their job, because the religious person in charge cannot handle the gay worker's neurology. Do you know how much sense that makes? Zero. Not to mention that this is also the person's income and how they get their money. They do not deserve to get fired for doing nothing wrong and losing their income and how they get their money, just because of simply who they like. They do not deserve the stress of getting fired and having to find another job, just because of simply who they like. And I know a lot of LGBT conservatives like to defend the religious people in these situations because it's a religious right, but let me ask you this. What if it was you? What if you were fired from your job for being LGBT? By your logic, you would be okay with that. And by your logic, you should be okay with that, right? And to the Christians, I say, what if you got fired because you were a Christian? Because your employer disagreed with it? How would you feel about that? By your own logic and arguments, you would be okay with that, right? And I guess I could understand it if it was like a small, private, religious-only company. Although it would make you and your company look like horrible, childish people for doing something like that. And I would consider you that too. And firing someone for that reason should definitely not be allowed for, like, large, public, non-religious companies. Even if, like, the owner or the CEO or the manager is religious anyway. And since they use the point that gay marriage is not true marriage and it's against God, and it's not as designed for marriage, well, they should also be firing single parents and divorced parents from these jobs as well, since those are also quote-unquote against God. If you're gonna act on an action and fire people for being sinners, you should at least make it consistent. All in all, do not fire an LGBT person from their job, as it makes you and your business look horrible. Grow up a little bit and learn to start taking other people's biology. Fire someone because they're a bad worker, not because of who they like.